What's up, book nerds? My name is Tara, and this is the Epic Reads book tag. I was tagged to do this by Abby over at Abby Reads, and she has a wonderful channel. I highly recommend that you check it out. I've linked her information down below, and thank you so much to Abby for thinking of me when you did this tag. Question number 1, if you could invite any author and one of their fictional characters to tea, what would you serve them? I would invite Libba Bray, and I would invite any of her characters from her novel Beauty Queens to tea, because first of all, I've heard Libba Bray speak and she is phenomenal. I think we would have a lot to talk about feminism and YA books and gender and how girls are portrayed in the novels. And then also her characters are just so varied and dynamic. I think that I could end up having an excellent conversation with any one of them. As for what we would serve, I mean, we would serve things that I like. So it probably wouldn't be tea, it would be coffee and lots of delicious like cookies and sweets and things because, well, I'm really craving a cookie right now, that's why. Number 2, which book do you wish an author would write a prequel for? And I chose These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner because this book starts with the explosion of a ship in space, which is why they get stranded on a deserted planet. I think that there were a lot of stories on that ship that could have been told. There's obviously a lot that happens before these two characters get stranded. There's a lot of mysteries. I think it could be really cool to have a story that explains some of those. Though they may get explained in the final book in the series. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'm sure there's still more material for these ladies to continue writing glorious space operas for me. Number 3 is which two characters that are not from the same book do you think would make a great couple? This one was, as many of you have noted, extremely difficult, but I started with I really wanted to give a romantic interest to Bea from Where'd You Go, Bernadette? She is the daughter. She is precocious and intelligent, and she's super like sweet to her mom. She's a really nice girl and one of my favorite literary characters, and I thought who would go well with her? Who better than Quentin from Paper Towns. He really needs a girl with a sense of adventure. She needs a boy who is willing to love her. And now that Quentin's over some of his other mess, I think that the two of them would look fun together and would have good adventures. Even if they don't last forever, yeah, they might enjoy their dating relationship. Number 4, if you ran into your favorite author on the subway and you could say one sentence to them, who would it be and what would you say? I would pick A.S. King because I have not yet talked to her and because she's my favorite, and I wouldn't say anything too complicated or world-changing. I would simply say, thank you for writing the books that you write, for changing the lives of the teens that you write for, and for writing books that treat young people like the mature, complex people that they are. Number 5 is which book made you a reader, and there's just absolutely no way that I can pin this down. Every single book I've ever touched or read has made me a reader. So if I had to pick something, it would go all the way back to whatever the first book was that my parents read to me as a kid. So like Goodnight Moon or something. Number 6 is Incendio. Your bookcase has caught on fire. Which book do you save? You could only save one. What would it be and why? Unlike other people that I've heard answer this question, I'm not terribly attached to my physical books. I mean, I love them, but money can purchase more of them. And, you know, I've lost annotations and things like that in this case, but I can just write new ones. It's fine. So most of my books I'm okay with losing. I mean, whatever. But I would want to save this copy of We Were Liars, which is signed by E. Lockhart. She tells me don't eat the yellow snow. But even then I was like, you know, if I lost this book, I could probably just get her to sign another one. I'm sure that we will cross paths at another point. So you know, there's a book that's a collection of Grimm's fairy tales from my grandmother. I would probably save that because it's sort of a priceless item that would not be replaceable. Number 7 is which dystopian world would you most want to live in and why? I picked The World of the Selection by Kiera Cass because of the caste system in this book. As a teacher and an academic, I would be in the third caste, which wouldn't be too bad for me. I would be pretty well off in society, and I'm glad that Kiera Cass decided to privilege those people in her society if I had to live in one where people are arbitrarily divided into castes that they can't get out of. And number 8 is, what is your most epic read of all time? This is Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith. This book is admittedly not for everyone. It's like a very postmodern, ridiculous, crazy romp through a grasshopper apocalypse. But I mean, it's a grasshopper apocalypse, which is pretty epic. But mainly I picked this one because the main character, Austin Zerba, is writing down the events as they happen in his sort of history of the world. And that made it pretty epic to me because I felt like his story is going to be the epic tale of future generations who were repopulated by Austin and his friends after the apocalypse. So that's why this is an epic story. And finally, question number 9 asks me to do a book shimmy. So I am a mad Zumba queen, so I'm sure there's a little something I can pull out here. That's my shimmy face. So there you have it, the footage of me shimmying on YouTube. You're welcome, world. And finally, I tagged 3 people to do this tag as well. I've tried to do my homework. I don't think any of you have done this tag. I tagged Jen at Bookish Brain Clutter, Kaylee at Books for MKs, and Karen Zemek. All of you, I hope that you can fit this in. I would look forward to seeing your responses, but totally understand if you are not able to get around to this, because I know what it's like to just have tags pile up and not be able to complete them, so no pressure. And I think that's all for now, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I started the Georgia Nicholson series in college. I think I read the first one for a YA lit class and was pleasantly surprised. This looks like a completely fluffy book. The graphics are actually pretty terrible on it, but it